This is the plaintiff, Rachel Miles. She says debris from the defendant's building blew off his roof, smack dab on top of her car, damaging it. The defendant refuses to compensate her so she can get her car repaired. She's fed up with his sour attitude and she's suing him for the $1,643.54 she's owed. This is the defendant, Levi Gaston. He says it was an act of God. Something blew onto the plaintiff's car. How's he responsible for an act of God during a freaky windstorm anyway? He doesn't think he is and isn't paying the demanding plaintiff anything, unless of course the judge tells him to. He's accused of not being secure.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says junk from the defendant's building flew off his roof, damaged her car. But the defendant says, act of God. It's the case of there she blows.
Douglas,
You're welcome, ma'am.
Rachel Miles, you're
Yes.
suing Levi Gaston
Yes, sir.
for $1,643.54 in damages to your car that you say happened when roofing material from his home fell upon it, correct?
Correct.
What happened?
Well, Your Honor, on December 16th of 2011, I went out to my car. I was on my way to work, and I went out to my car, and there was some debris on my back trunk. So I took the debris off.
What kind of car?
2002 Dodge Neon. And I took the debris, and I put it, some of it in the front yard, and I proceeded on to work. And at that time,
What did you think when you saw it? Did you know where it had come from?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
How did you know?
Yes, because we had some debris in our driveway before from his roofing.
When did you have debris in your driveway before from his roofing?
I don't know the exact date, but when it gets real windy outside.
Have you ever brought it to his attention?
No,
How come?
but
But when
Well,
it
it
gets real windy implies it happened more than once before. And I'm curious because you never mentioned that in your complaint.
no,
Right.
I didn't, because
one would
it
think you'd
wasn't on-
mention it. You know?
Right.
Right,
Your
especially
Honor.
to him, if it happened multiple times before, that he needs to do something about his roof. You're not just trying to make your case better, are you?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Okay.
When the debris was in our driveway.
How often has that happened before?
About 3 other times.
3
maybe.
other times during
Yes.
the course of how long a time?
A couple years or more.
Okay.
But also the debris that was in the driveway before, it also damaged my landlord's automobile. And she lives upstairs from me. And Mr. Gaston knows about that.
Oh, tell me
because he
about that.
paid her.
Mr. Gaston, do you
Yes,
know?
I agree with her.
You do? Oh,
I agree with
okay.
her.
All right, good, because I was getting nervous that maybe you were trying to make your case better. All right,
And
so
I
go
think,
on.
to be honest, ma'am, I think that was 4 years ago, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what it is, once I got to work, it was daylight.
What, had there been high winds the day before?
Yes.
Yeah.
So once I got to work and it was daylight, I noticed that it was a lot of scratches on the car. So once I got out of work, I went over to Mr. Gaston's residence, and he wasn't there, but his son was there. And I asked his son to, I wrote down my number and asked his son to tell him to call me. I never heard from Mr. Gaston at all. So this was January 23rd of 2012.
Did you ever make
Answer my
contact with him and talk to him?
That was on the 23rd.
Okay, well, listen, there's a lot of days between January and
Okay,
today,
I'm
so
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So when you did talk to him, what
Okay,
did you
the
two talk
23rd,
about?
Once he heard the estimate, the first estimate, he didn't want to hear the second estimate. He just said, I'm not paying it. That's an act of God. And the debris that I put in the front yard, I would think Mr. Gaston did pick that up. Wouldn't he think that, hey, it's time for me to get my roof fixed?
Right.
And he didn't.
What's going on with you? Can I see pictures of the car, of the damage? What's going on?
Is he responsible for damage to her roof? What do you think?
Yes,
Why?
because there should never be junk on top of his roof.
You know what? Kind of says it all, doesn't it? Going inside the courtroom.
Your Honor, I agree with everything she says, excepting that I went to see it. My son haven't been home in years. I don't know who she spoke to, but I didn't get the message. But I did go around to the house because I rent the house and I go there every week, twice a week, to check on the house. Now, I have a couple of I have a couple
Big
of
chunks of roof.
Yes,
I thought we were talking about like a few little things. This is like enormous parts of
and
your
I've
roof.
never seen the car. And I went there several times with a worker of mine.
Right.
And I said, so, you know.
Why don't you just make an appointment with her to see the car?
Won't bring the car. And she said, oh, my son has the car. I've never seen it. So I told her, I said, well, all right, take your car. We'll get an estimation.
Is this his roof?
Mm-hmm.
That's his roof.
Okay.
I said, we'll get an estimation of your damage on the car, and then we'll see. Because now when she comes up with $1,600, I said, gee whiz, I've got my whole car paid for $1,600. Where did this come from? Now, is it your car? Somebody's car you want fixed? I don't know. I really don't know, because I never. When I went in her yard a couple of times, the car was there. There was no damage. She said some wood fell in there. I never did see the wood, and wood doesn't come off of the roof of our house.
I don't know what, but apparently lots of pieces of roof come off the roof of your house. This is a roof that really seriously needs some work.
Yes, I have.
This is held together with spit and chewing gum.
Yeah.
What's going on? Is it just too much?
Well, Your Honor, Buffalo had some strong winds sometime, and that was a really strong wind that time.
Yes, I looked at the wind. I looked at the wind.
It rooted up some trees.
Did you look at the wind the day before? Did you get a report on what the wind was the day before? I did.
No.
They were strong winds.
Yeah, they were strong
in the 30s.
winds. Strong
but your
winds.
roof has to be able to withstand 30. It
Yes.
has to be able to withstand 30. It probably has to be able to
I agree
withstand
with you.
70,
I
not
agree.
30.
Yes.
So yes, there were strong winds. It's no time to be outside without a sweater.
Yes.
Very strong winds, no time to be outside playing. But the roof is supposed to be sturdier than the person.
That's been there for years. I don't know.
I know.
It's not a new roof.
And
It's
there's
not-
the
it's not a new
problem.
roof.
It's been there for years,
Yeah.
and we all
It's
need
not
a little
new roof.
maintenance.
Yes,
Okay.
but
All right. What I'm going to do
Yeah,
is we're done. We're done.
Okay.
There are things that are acts of God, and there are things that are your fault. And you can't control that a hurricane come through and rip your tree that's completely healthy down, and your tree falls on your neighbor's car, and then your car says, well, it's your tree, you got to pay for it. No, that's an act of God. But you can control the state of disarray on your roof. It costs money, but you have to repair that thing.
may I, Your Honor?
No, we're done.
Okay.
But I'm not going to order you to pay. You have two estimates. One is $300 cheaper. I'm going to order him to pay the cheaper amount, which is $1,335.02. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the defendant's going to have to pay. What do you think of that, Mr. Gaston?
Well, I've been willing to pay before. I would tell you, but the thing about it, I never saw the car. And I don't know whose car it was that she got the damage off. We were there. I asked her, let me get another estimation.
What about fixing up that roof? That roof seems to need some help.
The roof was just one strip came off of it,
And
off
so
the
that
front.
could happen again.
It could happen again, but the roof is in good shape.
You sure?
But
You been up
the
there
front of
checking?
it, yeah, the guy's been up there, and they took me just in that section where it came off of there.
All right,
strip
okay.
there.
All right. Hope that doesn't happen again.
Thank you.
All right, head right down.
Thank you.
Head right down this way. Don't want to see Mr. Gaston back here in court.
Definitely not.
No, I don't know if he enjoyed his stay here very much. What do you think of the outcome here?
Justice prevailed, and I'm happy about it. Okay? And he
How
needs
come,
to get his roofing fixed.
Yeah. Why do you think he was trying to avoid you?
Yes. Oh, he
You
did.
did?
He did.
Avoid you?
He did for some months. So now we're here, and I'm happy.
All right, watch out for that roof.
Okay,
Harvey.
Thank you.
Always put your neighbor on notice if there is any kind of dangerous condition. That will seal your rights.